Welcome to Girls Just Want to Get Haunted. I'm Jasmine.
And I'm Lacey. We're two friends traveling to haunted places, swapping paranormal stories, and exploring the strange things that live just outside the glow of the firelight.
Every other week, we bring you chills, mysteries, and a little laughter to keep it from getting too real. The real world.
You're our new intro song.
Yeah. It sounds just like the old intro song, but really bad.
I at least figured out what it was. I knew it was our intro.
Sometimes that just gets stuck in my head.
Honestly, never for me.
It sounds like it needs to. Well, I also listen to it a lot more than you because I edit everything.
Yeah, and your point?
I just mean I hear it a lot more than you.
Makes sense. I hear it when I listen to our episodes.
Oh man, I was trying to show someone at work something yesterday. Well, hey, if anyone wants to listen to us on YouTube, we now have a YouTube at Girls Just Want to Get Haunted, where you can listen to the pod episodes on YouTube Music.
As requested.
Yeah, a few people have asked for that to happen. But I was trying to show a coworker the little graphic I made for an episode. And I don't know if it was our intro or if the episode started playing from like where I left off. But all I heard was my voice, and I went, ew, no, not in front of people, not in front of people. No. And they were just like, if it makes you feel any better, that's just what you sound like to us. And I was like, no, it's not right. It's not right.
I mean, other people do hear you more than you hear yourself, obviously.
God, it was so cringy. I couldn't. Hated it.
You just open your phone and your voice starts to play and they're like, what'd you listen to there, bud?
Me. Myself.
It's soothing. It brings me joy.
It doesn't. It makes me go, please stop talking.
I know I need to learn how to edit. It would be super helpful, I think. But like thinking of listening to my voice, like especially over and over as I edit.
It's a little rough.
Listening to my voice?
I'm listening to my voice.
Oh, they're like, yeah, your voice kind of sucks.
Yeah, your voice sucks. That's why I replaced you with Jessica.
Listen, I'm going to stop telling you things, and I'm moving back to Pennsylvania.
What's haunting you today, Lacey?
Well, I have a whole list, but today, yes, it's you. I had a dream that I like got in the car and we're going to go work on the podcast. And Jasmine's like, actually, I replaced you with our other friend. And she laughed and I'm like almost in tears. Like, this is the worst dream ever.
Hey, I didn't do that. So
not yet. Now that I gave you the idea, you might.
Yeah, now I keep saying, if you keep it up, I'm going to replace you with Jessica.
And I just keep threatening to move away.
No, don't go back to Pennsylvania. It's terrible there.
It actually wasn't. I think just the people I was around sucked.
Yeah, exactly.
But sometimes some of the people I'm here with suck.
That's very true. Yeah.
That is, though, on my list of things that have been haunting me, is I was thinking about how, like, a week or two ago, we didn't really see each other that week. And for whatever reason, but like now we hang out like at least once a week, usually to work on the podcast. And since I've been back in Michigan, we hang out all the time. But like when I moved away, we were lucky to see each other for like a year. like once
Yeah.
a year.
Yeah.
And now, like, not seeing you once a week was like, this is really weird. I don't like this.
When was this?
I don't know.
After Frisker's surgery?
Maybe?
That's what's haunting me. My dog had surgery. It was terrible. Twice. He ripped his butt out.
This is not fun times.
No. It was not fun times.
But he's got on like cute little camo pajamas right now. He looks like he's ready for the swamp.
Yeah, he has to wear jammy jams so he doesn't rip out his stitches. But he's very healed now and he's doing much better. It was very rough times. But luckily I have a job that allowed me to take off 2 weeks to be able to stay home while he healed. Because I don't know what I would have done. He's a crazy boy. Crazy, crazy boy. Mini Australian Shepherds. I think any Australian Shepherd or Shepherd dog is going to be crazy, though.
He's so cute, though.
He's very cute. I love him very much.
He's got that crazy side eye, though.
He does. His eyes are very blue. And he's like
human blue.
Yeah.
Like, he does not have dog eyes. It looks sometimes it's like human eyes giving you the side eye. And you're like, you're adorable, but I need you to calm down because you're freaking me out.
Stop staring into my soul, please.
Like, you're gonna snatch it. Side eye, like, I'm gonna take that soul.
Sometimes he's just like, humans.
Such a rough life.
Yeah. Spoiled rotten.
Absolutely rotten.
This morning, our new morning routine is he wakes me up. Whenever I get up, he has to go outside. We go outside. He lays in the sun for as long as he wants. I take care of the garden. He goes to the bathroom. He lays in the sun some more. I do more gardening stuff. And then I'm like, dude, we need to go inside.
He likes his sun.
He's a very sun boy. He will literally cook himself. Sometimes I'm like, you are too hot. Get up. When he had surgery, he had to go outside to go to the bathroom. And sometimes he would just lay down in the sun and like roll over on his back. And I'm like, dude, you're cooking your stitches right now. We got to go. Like I was standing, I know he was trying to sunbathe, but I was like standing in the sun making shade because I was worried about him burning his stitches. Like, what are you doing, dog?
My cat also loves the sun. She hangs out like on the porch with us. Yeah. Man, she loves that sun.
Her little stone.
Yeah,
little paver.
The viral thing that people were getting like big stones for their cats to lay on. That cement blocker. It's not a block.
It's a paver.
Yeah. I got one of those and now she loves it. She's like, thanks for heating this up for me. I wasn't warm enough.
Yeah, when we were at TJ Maxx and you're like, a cooling blanket or cooling pad or something. I tried that already. Like, he would not use it. He would rather cook himself.
I got one for Dixie, like to have like in the living room when it gets warm. She wanted nothing to do with it. She's like, no, it's hotter outside. That's where I need to be. Let me go cook.
I have to go outside. This house is too cold. I need to be directly in the sun. Opposite of me.
Opposite.
Vampire.
Same.
Will die in the sun. Literally. Literally.
I have like SPF 100 usually on me.
Yeah, I usually do the same. And I can just feel when I need to reapply it.
Same.
But also, now I take an antidepressant. And that, it's like a switch when I get overheated. And I just get physically ill. It's terrible.
I can't imagine already adding to my hatred of the heat.
Like, I already didn't do super well in the heat, and now it's like 10 times worse. Like, what was it, 2 years ago? I went to Myrtle Beach with my sister and her husband, and we went to a water park. And all I wanted to do was the lazy river. That's kind of all my sister wanted to do too. So her husband went to do some water slides and stuff while we were in the lazy river. And we had gone around a few times and she kept going, "Are you good? Do you need to go out?" And I was like, "I think I got one more in me." And I did not have one more in me. Like, we had gotten a cabana, like rented a cabana that was like the exit for the lazy river was right there, so we could just get off and our cabana was right there. I died. Like, I laid down in the cabana. We had to put cold water, like water bottles all over me to cool me down. It was rough. It's like a switch, and I'm like, oh, okay, I think I'm gonna die.
I already feel like that, and I don't have like medication helping.
It ain't helping with that. Terrible.
When it's hot outside, I just like want to crawl into a bathtub and you cover me in ice.
But hey, it stops me from having panic attacks every day, so I will take that.
I need that.
What are we talking about today, Lacey?
Al Capone.
Your favoritist person ever, at least during this deep dive.
It was a deep dive.
Your current hyperfixation.
To be fair, though, like you said I could.
To be fair.
So when we went to Chicago, I'm like, hey, while we're there, can we go to the cemetery where Al Capone is buried? And you're like, yeah, okay. But then we're like, oh, we should actually like do a whole episode on Al Capone. And I was like, there's a lot on Al Capone. And I'm like, should I like go deep? And you're like, yeah. I'm like, all right, you gave me permission. Balls to the wall. Here we go.
Yeah.
I'd like you to know that 23 pages.
Oh my God. Are you serious? This is going to be a 4-hour episode.
I numbered my pages. Oh, sorry. There's 24.
Let's see how this roller coaster goes.
You might want to take a bathroom break now. Get your snacks.
This is a part 7 episode on Al Capone.
See how fast I can talk. You know what? Just speed it up.
I think there's some audio issues with this episode. All I keep hearing is...
I wish I could talk that fast. I mean, I also listen to almost all audio, though, on at least like 1.5.
Yes.
Like I speed things up.
Otherwise, it's like...
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I was reading a book and like I didn't realize on what I was reading it that I could adjust the speed, and I just had to like stop it. And just like, because I was reading, I also had the book in front of me and I was like reading way faster than this audio. And I was like,
I've done that before.
I can't do it.
I was like, I'm reading way faster than this. I need to speed this up.
What you got there?
Slime.
Now I'm distracted.
It's thinking putty, so while you're talking, I can pay attention.
You need extra things to do because I'm going to be so boring in my 24 pages of Al Capone.
No, I have ADHD.
I have ADHD, so she keeps sending me memes and TikToks of like people with autism, and it's just like directed at me.
It is. It was made for you.
I keep telling people, sorry, I'm slightly very autistic.
Did you know that if you're autistic, you're more likely to like the color green? That's weird. That's your favorite color.
I know what you're trying to say. Everyone who's autistic is their favorite color is green.
No, it just matched you so well.
I did see one that said that only people with ADHD and autism get like songs stuck in their head. And I'm like, that can't be true. Literally no one else just has like an elevator music background in their head at all times.
Sometimes it's elevator, sometimes it's circus music. I'll just walk around like I'm not even joking.
I don't think I've had that. Right now I have the Puerto Rico song stuck in my head, so that's been fun for like 2 weeks. Just nonstop in the back of my head. And then I'll be at work and someone's like, that song's still stuck in your head? I'm like, how do you know? It's because I've been humming it or like making mouth noises.
Oh, you're still thinking of that one, are you?
Can we move on now, please? Like a new song.
My radio just keeps playing the same song over and over again.
Do you take requests? Okay, let's get back to this because we've got some pages to go.
Yeah.
Are you so excited?
Yeah.
Also, you've now seen the movie of the musical Chicago.
I have.
I'm very excited about that. So now when
Lacey made me watch it.
Okay, listen, I'm doing all this deep dive research and they kept going Cicero. And I was like, Cicero from the song. And then, the Cook County Jail, which is where they are in the musical. And that's not to give anything away, but at some point he does end up there for a little bit.
Shocker.
A mobster? No way.
Crazy.
Okay. So Al Capone, who has been described as a modern-day Robin Hood. During the Great Depression, he opened soup kitchens, providing free meals to the unemployed and donated charities. He's known for being a generous tipper, a man of the people, portrayed himself as a businessman providing a service, alcohol, that the public demanded. Alphonse Al Capone was born in Brooklyn, New York in 1899. Son of Italian immigrants, but he embraced the cultural myth of the American dream. When anyone called him an Italian, he would say, "I'm no Italian. I was born in Brooklyn." His father, Gabriel, cut hair for a living. His mother, Teresa, made money sewing gowns. He had 8 siblings, 6 brothers and 2 sisters, which I've saved.
That's so many siblings.
Too many.
Too many kids.
But there are a couple that I'm going to talk about at the end.
Well, we saw some of their graves.
Yeah. Which coolest cemetery ever. I loved like that all the gravestones had like pictures on them.
Giant cemetery.
Giant.
Like, it took us a while trying to figure out.
Oh, it was like at least 20 minutes trying to find, and it was like right by the entrance. It couldn't have been easier to find. But it's also like the one with like everyone put stuff at the graves. Like there were tons of coins.
Also, it was like split in half. Like I was like, maybe it's supposed to be on the other side of the road. Like,
oh yeah, like there was like 2 parts.
Yeah.
With like a huge road in between. Like this was a huge cemetery.
I mean, it is Chicago. That does make sense.
Yeah. But still.
Yeah.
I'm glad we went.
Yeah.
I also wish it hadn't been raining. It's also kind of cold, I think.
It was cold and windy.
We're like, we'll get out for a little bit, but I would have loved to explore more.
Yeah. Don't worry, it's still there.
I'm not there currently, though. Al was a big kid, joined his first gang, Bim Booms, at 11. Lucky Luciano was also a member. Both boys moved on to become 5-pointers, where they met Johnny Torrio. He made good grades, but had a penchant for breaking the rules. At 14, he came to blows with one of his teachers.
A teacher?
Yeah. Everything has like different of what happened. Like there's different like accounts of what exactly happened with this teacher. Like the one I found says he was punching her in the face, and in turn he was beaten by the principal.
That's so violent.
He was definitely violent towards a teacher, and he got expelled from school. That for sure.
And what did the teacher do to cause this?
That's a good question.
Yikes.
He then joined one of the borough's tough teens gangs. At 15, Capone began working for Johnny Torrio, one of the city's most notorious Italian-American gang leaders. Johnny was a lieutenant who was smart, not just street smart, a leader who let his minions do all the dirty work. Johnny would get Capone jobs. Like in 1917, 18-year-old Capone, while working as a bouncer at the Harvard Inn, provoked an incident that would gain him the nickname that would stick with him for the rest of his life: Scarface. In the decades that followed, he would make up other stories for the scars, like he was in World War I, although he never actually served. He was working the door one night when a pretty girl came in, Lena Galluccio. Apparently, she was a stunning dark-haired Italian girl, also the sister of another local gangster, Frank Galluccio, who had a reputation for retribution to those who offended him. These names, by the way, some of them I definitely will struggle with.
I was like, how is she saying these names so good? I'm so proud of her right now. I would not be able to.
Thank you. I've read them a lot, and I've just decided that's how they were probably written.
This is right.
That didn't stop Al Capone from trying his luck. He kept trying to shoot his shot as she and her group drank. She ignored him until his flirting turned into harassment. Then, in a genius move, Al Capone decided to open his mouth with this gem. "You've got a nice ass, honey."
And then she punched him.
Face red from rage, Big Brother Frank stood up and shouted, "I won't take that shit from nobody. Apologize to my sister now, ya hear?" I also am not going to try a Brooklyn accent.
It's probably a good idea.
It's for the best, honestly. What happened next is unclear, but according to Galluccio, instead of apologizing, Al Capone charged him, and in an effort to defend himself, the drunken Galluccio pulled out a pocket knife and slashed Capone across the face 3 times.
Oof.
This stopped Capone in his tracks. He doubled over, clutching his face that was now spraying blood all over the dance floor.
I'm sure.
Galluccio and his gang quickly fled the scene. Apparently, blood spraying from someone's face is pretty sobering. It's said that if it wasn't for the quick-thinking staff at the Harvard, Capone probably would have died. But his face was bundled up with towels and sent to the nearby Coney Island hospital. Several stitches later, the bleeding had ceased, but the scars would remain forever, as would the nickname Al Capone despised. Both Al Capone and Frank Galluccio wanted retribution, but senior mobsters intervened and the two were made to make amends. Galluccio was prompted to apologize for the damage inflicted to Capone's face, and Capone pledged not to seek retribution. December 30th, 1918, Capone married his girlfriend Mae Josephine Coughlin. Less than a month prior, the couple had a son, Albert Francis Sonny Capone.
Oh. S-U-N-N or S-O-N-N?
S-O-N-N.
Oh, man. I thought it was going to be like Sunshine.
Even as a young man, Capone was a big believer in marriage. He was determined that even though his son was born out of wedlock, that at the first opportunity he'd marry the mother of his child, and his son's parents would be married. Breathe. A lot to get through. Capone was a notorious womanizer. This type of philandering gave Capone syphilis, which he would eventually pass down to his wife. He didn't seek treatment in spite of enduring painful sores, rashes, and regular flu-like symptoms, because in doing so, he would then need to tell his wife about his adultery, like she didn't already know.
I mean, if she got sick too, wouldn't she have symptoms?
You would think.
So she already knows she got sick from someone.
Oh, wonder who that could be.
Yeah.
But she's not sleeping around. But this once again is part of the duality of Capone. Family man, believed in marriage, but adulterer. There's also a myth that Capone kept a 15-year-old female mistress in an apartment during his early days in New York. But it's believed to be impossible. No way could he have afforded to do so, despite numerous biographies that purport it as truth, which honestly, during research, I've discovered is like a thing. And I'm sure it'll come up again, but it's like, how many times can you write the life story of one person? So each author tries to come up with like a new spin to sell their books.
How is it a new it's still the same history. It's
Exactly, but they try and come up with like, but did you also know that he kept a 15-year-old in an apartment? Like, people will find something little and like go with it.
Yeah.
Shortly after his marriage to May, Capone would transfer from New York to Chicago at the behest of monster Johnny Torrio. It was said that Capone jumped at the chance to make a name for himself in the Windy City. Terrible Johnny had gone to Chicago to oversee matters for his uncle, crime lord Big Jim Colosimo.
I thought you were going to say Biggie. I was like, what?
Yeah, Biggie. Big Jim Colosimo. The rackets spawned by the enactment of the Prohibition Amendment, illegal brewing, distilling, and distribution of beer and liquor were viewed as growth industries.
What?
Yeah.
We may have talked about that a little bit already.
No way. The mob also developed interest in legitimate businesses in the cleaning and dyeing field and cultivated influence with receptive public officials, labor unions, and employee associations.
Employee associations?
Labor unions?
We just gotta dabble in a little bit of everything.
In one of the books I was reading that was just about like all the mobsters, one of them, I wish I remember who, one of them went to prison and he got let out early because during the war, he had his union guys on the docks, like protect it, like from oncoming war vessels or something. So he used his inn at the docks.
Smart.
True. And they're like, you gotta leave. And he might have tried to go to Cuba, and they're like, no, that's way too close. So eventually I think he went back to Italy. I was very fascinated. Total deep dive. I also, in writing this, like kept going back and forth between like Al Capone and just Capone. I'm like, Al seems too, like, we're too friendly. Like, I don't know what to call him. Capone supposedly had a wish that he had started in the milk business before the beer business, since milk was always in demand and far easier to trade in than alcohol in Prohibition Chicago. One big legend or myth of Capone is that he pushed for expiration dates on milk bottles after a relative got sick from drinking expired milk. But along with his brother, Capone did open his own dairy farm and manufactured milk that was sold in bottles with the expiration date on them.
I remember you saying something about that.
Which is what I've always heard.
Yeah.
Is that he is the reason there are dates, like expiration dates on milk.
Just imagining things with no expiration dates.
It wasn't a thing back then.
My tummy hurts. I don't know why. My food was kind of smelly and had spots on it, but...
That's why Kellogg had his big... Look, as a nerd who watches a lot of Food That Built America and other History Channel things, like, that's why Kellogg had his... sanatorium or whatever it was that people went to get their stomachs fixed.
That's a whole different episode.
I'm just saying, expiration dates on food was not a thing. Like, grains were kept in huge barrels and they would just like keep digging until they found the maggots. Yeah, I couldn't. Like, with my tism now in food, like, sometimes chicken is too chickeny and it's not even...
This egg is too eggy.
Again, comes from a chicken. My thing is with chickens, apparently.
Nuh-uh, because you had a problem with your Chinese food with the shrimp in it.
I got the ick. I don't know if that wasn't too shrimpy. It was just the ick.
You're like, yep, I'm done with this phase.
I didn't eat Asian food for a long time until today.
A few months, wasn't it?
At least a month.
Yeah.
That I was like, oh, I can't do Asian food anymore.
Because you were over here. Who knows what tragedy you were over here for that time?
What tragedy was this? It's been a rough couple of months.
It has been.
Luckily, we had some podcasts pre-recorded and ready to go.
Yeah. That Pre-recording is the best thing we've ever decided to do.
I'm so glad that we had some like in our back pocket.
Yeah.
And then one day they were like, hey, do you know one of our episodes posted? I'm like, did it?
We've done that twice now.
Yeah. It was like 2 in a row. And I'm like, hey, did you know? Sorry.
Hey, it's scheduled.
Yeah. The updates on TikTok and Instagram are not scheduled.
They are not.
We're trying, guys. We're trying.
Sometimes life just be lifing.
It's lifing a little too hard lately and needs to calm down.
Yeah, for real.
In fact, family members of Capone said he always wanted to be a respectable businessman. Surviving members of his family believed that if it wasn't for his father's death when Capone was 21, he might have gone into legitimate business. But as it was, Al Capone was the child tasked with providing for his family. He was fiercely devoted to his mother, calling her on a daily basis while he began his career as a mobster. It was actually his love for his mother that prompted him to create a divide between work and home life in an effort to protect his family and shield them from his growing criminal exploits. Capone adopted this approach from his mentor, Johnny Torrio, who believed work and family should never mix, telling Capone to keep your hands clean and use others to do your dirty work. Okay, but side note, did you know that Michigan had banned the sale of alcohol 2 years prior to this act?
No.
So Michigan, Detroit especially, their criminal element was already seasoned bootleggers at this point.
Oh. They said, don't worry, we got this.
I mean, they had 2 years.
Yeah, we've been practicing.
In the summer, Canada was only a boat ride away. Winter in Detroit, the river froze over. The pipeline between Ontario's distillery and Detroit's bottler city found itself with 2 flourishing economies, cars and booze. Along with his criminal enterprises, Capone became a regular in the Chicago nightlife. Routine. Oh my God, I can't speak today. It's been
Party.
just the whole. Routinely drinking and patronizing brothels, where he'd become infected with syphilis. Capone was all about appearing a legitimate businessman, and during the first few years in Chicago, he presented himself as a boxing promoter.
So random.
I agree.
What?
May 11th, 1919, Jim Colosimo was taken out. Murdered. A takeover by his own nephew. Some believe it was even carried out by none other than Al Capone. Possibly, probably, allegedly.
Allegedly.
But after the death of Jim Colosimo, Johnny Torrio took over and made Al Capone his right-hand man. In 1925, Capone became boss when Torrio was seriously wounded during an assassination attempt. Torrio surrendered control and retired to Brooklyn. At just 26 years old, Capone was suddenly the most powerful gangster in all of Chicago.
Nice.
This power meant he could take control of all the bootlegging operations. It meant he could increase the amount of force used to get what he wanted. It meant local alcohol brewers who refused to work for him were attacked and even bombed, as were the businesses that refused his so-called protection. It's said that over 100 people lost their lives in these attacks in the 1920s alone.
My goodness.
At the height of his heyday in Chicago, Capone made his base of operations in nearby Cicero.
Your favorite.
The location provided him some detachment to create a safe haven in which his growing group of enemies would face a harder time reaching him. However, they still tried. One of his chauffeurs was found murdered and tortured. So Capone began taking steps to up his security, like buying out the whole train car. They would also use assumed names when checking into hotels.
Smart.
Capone sought to reinvent his image. Instead of just being seen as a two-bit crook, he tried to earn the favor of the public by appearing as a Robin Hood-type figure, made generous donations to charities and public trusts, became a kind of champion of the anti-prohibition movement through public advocacy of repealing the law, as well as his private sales of illicit liquor.
I'm against alcohol. Just kidding.
No, he was trying to be against prohibition.
Oh, okay.
He was anti-prohibition. He's just like, everyone should be able to drink. Do you want to buy some alcohol?
I thought you were saying the opposite. Like, I am against alcohol. Just kidding.
I'm against alcohol that I didn't sell to
There
you.
you go. See, the thing with making things illegal, though, is it just makes it dangerous for people to consume those things. So,
Which I think we've already had this conversation.
yeah. So it's just people are still gonna do it. They're just gonna die doing it.
And doing it less safely, yeah.
Yeah.
I really hate when someone's like, this is against my beliefs, so you can't do it either. Like that, then just don't do it. That's fine.
Yeah.
Hang out with other people who don't want to do it either.
Yeah.
Like, find your people. Don't make everyone suffer because you've decided.
Well, I don't like it, so it's illegal now.
I'm on a diet, so you can't eat that donut.
Oh, a donut sounds good.
Donuts always sound good. Affection wouldn't last long. His brutal violence increased. On top of an investigation report that blew the lid off of Capone's major operations, a brothel on the edge of suburban Cicero, Illinois. A reporter, 21-year-old Robert St. John, the editor of Cicero Tribune, went undercover and took down the testimony of several prostitutes, crafting an in-depth episode of the whole enterprise. The report wound up on the Tribune's very next issue and was flying off the newsstand. Capone was not happy, and Robert St. John was a marked man.
Oh, I'm sure.
The story inspired a group of concerned citizens of Cicero, formed West Suburban Citizen Association, led by Reverend Henry C. Hoover. The goal was to remove illegal establishments that had been creeping up in suburban Chicago. They went to the police chief, who was like, yeah, we'll totally look into this. Crime is bad. Clearly, this guy's on the payroll.
I was going to say, is he being paid off?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take a look. Maybe.
So the citizen vigilantes decided to take measures into their own hands and raised $1,000 to pay a rival gang to do the job for them.
Now that is smart thinking.
So
like, the police won't do it. So.
Police corruption of Greater Illinois was apparently so bad that local citizens had to pay criminals in order to stop the actions of other criminals.
Nice.
The committee discreetly deposited the money into the accounts of members of the O'Banion's old gang, now led by Jaime Weiss, a young man who had become a personal enemy of Capone. The gang promptly set the bordello on fire. An infuriated Capone woke up the next morning to hear that his brothel had been burnt to a crisp.
Oof.
But hey, at least the Northside gang was polite enough to do it in the early morning hours when no one was around to get hurt.
Oh, that's nice.
Crime, but cute.
Yeah. No one got hurt. That's great.
Instead of going after the Northside gang, Capone unleashed his full fury on the editor of the Tribune newspaper, Robert St. John.
Yikes.
A couple days after the fire, a carload of Capone's gang members pulled up on St. John while on his morning walk. This is also why I don't have a routine.
People can't know what you're doing.
Yeah, I don't even know what I'm doing. The one leading the charge, Al Capone's brother, Ralph Capone. One of the men was armed with a gun. Another had nothing more than a bar of soap in a sock that he wielded over his head like a medieval flail.
Okay, that's going to hurt, though.
I agree.
He learned that move in prison.
For some reason, I thought you were going to say Step Brothers.
Yeah, that movie was out back then.
It was said that there were actually police eyewitnesses on the scene, but they just sat back and watched. According to most reports, Robert St. John completely negated fight versus flight and instead flung himself on the ground and curled himself into a ball, feebly attempting to shield his head with his hands and let the gang beat the ever-loving crap out of him.
He said, I deserve this, I deserve this, I deserve this.
Eventually, the gangsters decided enough was enough and jumped into their car, fleeing the scene. It was only after the assailants left that he was rushed to the emergency room, where he would spend several days in the hospital recovering.
I'm sure.
When he was checking out to receive his hospital bill, he found that an anonymous person had already paid for him.
Was it Al Capone?
Who was it? A concerned citizen who felt bad? Maybe an eyewitness? Nope. The clerk mentioned the donor had a long-running scar across his face. Dun, dun, dun.
Huh.
It was none other than Al Capone.
He said, don't do that again.
It may seem bizarre, but that was Al Capone's twisted mind at work. Corporal punishment for the unflattering story, but this was his way of showing no hard feelings. He wanted to continue to project his nice guy image after all. Robert St. John was not going to be swayed. He marched right to the police station to demand his assailants be prosecuted, badgered them for hours. Finally, they relented and said, fine, you know what? Come back tomorrow and we'll start the process. The next day when he arrived, he was led to an empty room and told to wait. Shortly after, the door opened and none other than Al Capone walked in. He was not there to intimidate. I'm an all right guy. Sure, I got a racket. So's everybody. Most guys hurt people. I don't hurt nobody, only them that get in my way.
I think that's still hurting people. Just saying.
Yeah. This was his rationale that nice guy Capone was attempting to convey to St. John. Don't write unflattering pieces about me, and you'll stay on my good side. Then he tried to sweeten the deal. A bribe, pulled out his wallet and started thumbing through $100 bills. He then acknowledged he was indeed the one to pay the hospital bill. He wanted to give further compensation for his pain and suffering. Without taking a single dime, he stormed out of the room, leaving Capone and his cash behind. Unlike the corrupt Chicago officials, Robert St. John could not be bought. But you know, it could be bought. Because soon enough...
Paper?
Yep. Soon enough, Al Capone was the owner of the Cicero Tribune.
And you're fired.
He still works there. Jaime Weiss, Capone's rival and nemesis, was shot and killed by a Chicago gangster outside O'Banion's flower shop in October of 1926. Also dead. So, February 14th, 1929, St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
I was waiting for that one.
Yeah, it's the big one. The Irish gangster Bugs Moran, one of Capone's longtime enemies, ran his bootlegging operations out of a garage at 2122 North Clark Street. On February 14th, 7 of his gang members were gunned down while standing lined up while facing the wall of the garage. Some 70 rounds of ammunition were fired. When actual police officers showed up to the scene, one gang member, Frank Gusenberg, barely alive, when pressed, wouldn't reveal what happened. Police could find very few eyewitnesses, but eventually concluded that gunmen dressed as police officers had entered the garage and pretended to be arresting the men.
Tragic bullet accident.
With Tommy guns?
Yeah.
Shh. Bugs Moran had been on his way to the garage and had only missed getting killed by minutes. He instantly blamed Capone, later telling reporters, only Capone kills like that. Capone had been at his Florida estate at the time of the murders. When reporters reached out to him for a comment on the murders, he responded, the only man who kills like that is Bugs Moran. No one was ever brought to trial for the murders, and it remains one of the biggest unsolved crimes in history. Over the years, Al Capone consolidated control over most of Chicago's crime rackets by ruthlessly gunning down his rivals. In 1924, authorities counted 16 gang-related murders, and this style of killing would reach its high with 64 murders in 1 year in 1929.
My goodness.
This was just the documented killings. It's guesstimated that Capone killed thousands during his reign.
Oof.
Federal authorities, including the FBI, had much less jurisdiction than they have today and didn't include Chicago's gang-related activity. The St. Valentine's Day Massacre spurred President Hoover to order a get-tough edict on crime, specifically Capone. You see, the event did mark the end of any significant gang opposition to Capone's rule in Chicago, but it also can be said to have marked the beginning of his downfall. With his highly effective organization, his impressive income, it was estimated that he got like $60 million a year. And his estimated worth in 1927 was around $100 million.
Dang.
And his willingness to ruthlessly eliminate his rivals, Capone had become the country's most notorious gangster, and the newspaper dubbed him public enemy number 1.
Oh, no.
I did go
Wasn't
down...
there a movie called Public Enemy?
I went down a small rabbit hole because I was like, if... like, the cops aren't working together because, like, a federal thing wasn't around.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is my rabbit hole. Directly from the FBI website, the country's cities had grown enormously by 1908. There were more than 100 with populations over 50,000. And understandably, crime had grown right along with them. In these big cities, with their many overcrowded tenements filled with poor and disillusioned, with all the ethnic tensions of an increasingly immigrant nation stirred in good measure, tempers often flared. Clashes between striking workers and their factory bosses were turning increasingly violent. And though no one knew it at the time, America's cities and towns were also fast becoming breeding grounds for a future generation of professional lawbreakers. In Brooklyn, a 9-year-old Al Capone would soon start his life of crime.
9 years old.
I'm like, yeah, so he was 9.
Okay, but also working back then was terrible. There's like no rules for anything.
Exactly. In Indianapolis, a 5-year-old John Dillinger was growing up on his family farm. And in Chicago, a young child christened Lester Joseph Gillis, later to morph into the vicious killer Babyface Nelson, would greet the world by year's end.
Oh, it's an animal at the door. I was like, what is that? What is that?
What is happening right now?
That would be Frisker. I heard a little whine. He said,
I hear you. 1908 was the year that Henry Ford's Model T first began rolling off the assembly line. Another direct quote from the FBI.gov, making automobiles affordable to the masses and attractive commodities for thugs and hoodlums, who would soon begin buying or stealing them to elude authorities and move about the country on violent crime sprees.
Hoodlums is such a good word.
When Hoover took over in 1924, the Bureau had about 650 employees, including 441 special agents. Also, J. Edgar Hoover, not the President Herbert Hoover. No relation. Little side note. At the turn of the 20th century, the use of fingerprints to identify criminals was still in its infancy. For instance, in New York State, the prisons had only begun fingerprinting its inmates as early as 1903.
Well, could they do anything with the fingerprints before then?
I mean, not really. It wasn't even a thought. But it's just great, like, if you look at crime then, like, you can't commit crime now because, like, there's cameras everywhere. Yeah. There's just, like, there is crime, but not like this. Like,
I mean, you could get away with a lot.
Yeah. By 1920, though, the International Association of Chiefs of Police had become concerned about the erratic quality and disorganization of criminal identification records in America. It urged the Department of Justice to merge the country's 2 major fingerprint collections, the federal one at Leavenworth and its own set of state and local ones held in Chicago. And it wasn't until after Hoover took over in 1924 that he quickly formed a division of identification. And it wasn't until 1932 that they had their first official crime lab.
Ooh, crime lab.
Crime lab.
Well, what are they doing with that?
Exactly. Like, I even put, it's absolutely crazy looking back at the technological advances we have now. Cameras for sure is a big one. So much harder to get away with anything nowadays. And law enforcement wasn't working together back then. Now everything is in an accessible database online.
Everything's connected.
Yeah. And before, like, the police departments didn't talk to each other.
No.
Like, so if it happened a town away.
Yeah. That's how serial killers were so big.
We just watched something about that. Who were we watching?
I don't remember.
The Deadpool killer. That Wade Wilson guy. Do you remember? He was in 2 different towns, and the towns weren't talking about, like, the current criminal activity. That he, like, stole a car. So, like, the town over wasn't looking for him.
It sounds vaguely familiar.
Okay, that's the end of my side quest. The FBI side quest and fingerprinting. Back to Capone. In March of 1929, Capone was subpoenaed to appear before a grand jury, postponed to March 20th because he'd been suffering from bronchial pneumonia in Miami and had been confined in bed since January 13th to February 13th. And due to his health, he could not travel. U.S. Attorney's Office requested the FBI look into it. They found that Capone had attended the racetrack in Miami and made the plane trip to Bimini and cruised to Nassau and appeared in good health at those occasions.
Oh, so he wasn't actually.
No, he's a liar.
I was like, oh man, that's really sick.
Yeah, that'd be rough. March 20th, 1929, Capone appeared before the federal grand jury in Chicago and completed his testimony on March 27th. Left the courtroom and was arrested by agents for contempt in court, an offense for which the penalty was 1 year in prison and a $1,000 fine. He posted $5,000 bond and was released. May 17th, 1929, Capone and his bodyguard were arrested in Philadelphia for carrying concealed deadly weapons. Sentenced 1 year each, Capone was released in 9 months for good behavior. That was March 17th, 1930. Then February 29th, 1931, Capone was found guilty in federal court on his contempt of court charge. 6 months in the Cook County Jail. His appeal was dismissed.
He said Cook County. Cook County Jail.
Sorry, I have Chicago stuck in my head. Cell Block Tango. I hope everyone has seen Chicago or at least listened to Cell Block Tango because this was stuck in my head. Capone was found guilty in federal court on his contempt of court charge. His appeal was dismissed. June 16th, 1931, Capone pled guilty to tax evasion and prohibition charges. Bragged to the press he struck a deal for 2.5-year sentence. The judge informed him he was not bound by any deal, and Capone changed his plea to not guilty. It is so crazy. Like, the only way they could get him was tax evasion because it was on his illegal affairs, like his illegal business. Yeah. Why would you pay taxes on an
for something that's illegal?
Yeah.
You're not going to.
Exactly. But that's how they got him.
Yeah.
Blows my mind. 1931, convicted after trial, and on November 24th was sentenced with 11 years in federal prison, fined $50,000, and charged $7,692 in court fees, in addition to $215,000 plus interest due back in taxes. The 6 months on contempt of court sentence was to be served concurrently. When the judge sentenced him to 11 years, the New York Times said, "That fat man's face went dark and that ugly scar went white."
That's so mean.
So mean. While waiting for the results of appeals, Capone was confined to the Cook County Jail. Upon denial of appeals, he entered the U.S. Penitentiary in Atlanta, serving his sentence there and at Alcatraz. November 16th, 1939, Al Capone was released after serving 7 years, 6 months, and 15 days and having paid all fines and back taxes. Suffering from syphilis, he deteriorated greatly during his confinement. Immediately on release, he entered a Baltimore hospital for brain treatment and went to his Florida home, which was near Miami. He never publicly returned to Chicago. In 1946, physician and Baltimore psychiatrist, after examination, concluded he had the mentality of a 12-year-old. Capone lived out the rest of his days being cared for by his wife, May, and his brothers, spending most of his time in his pajamas at home, having imaginary conversations with long-dead colleagues or enemies in his backyard, delusions the entire family often went along with. At age 48, Capone died of a stroke on January 25th, 1947. After visiting him not long before the end, his former accountant, Jack Greasy Thumb Guzik,
It's a good name.
said to a newsman, Al, he's as nutty as a fruitcake. Al Capone would only run the Chicago outfit for 6 years, but is still one of the most notorious gangsters of all time. I think most people have heard of him. They may not know all the details, but they've definitely heard of him. He spent more time in prison than actually running his illegal bootlegging business.
Okay, but like, just because he was in prison doesn't mean he wasn't running things.
Yeah. Also, another myth about Capone was that he was a cocaine fiend.
Nice.
Authors will sometimes go to bat with some things they pick up on during research and make immediate assumptions. It also serves them well if it can be sensational enough to put them ahead and make them stand out among the other biographies. For instance, the theory that Capone was a coke fiend suddenly appeared in 1994 when author Lawrence Bergreen wrote about it in his book. He found a doctor in general medicine who agreed with his cocaine theory and ran with it.
Okay, do you have proof?
No, because here's the facts. Al Capone did have a hole in his septum, but it can be attributed to two of the following reasons. One, a long-time illness is syphilis. Most
he had.
Yeah, most long-time sufferers have a hole in their nose and have what's known as a saddle nose. It's so bad they have a name for it. Two, a deviated septum. Capone had a long history of bad sinus trouble, and added in the fistfights at a very young age may have worsened his sinus problem. On September 5th, 1929, he was operated on by Dr. Herbert Goddard for his sinuses and tonsils during his stay at Eastern State Penitentiary.
Ooh, that's rough as an adult.
Yeah. But they're like, oh, he had a hole in the sinus? Coke fiend.
Okay, assumptions.
Many family members changed their surnames and moved away from Chicago in the generations after his death. Many of the grandchildren of some of Capone's former cronies made promises to their parents and grandparents to never discuss business outside the family and are unwilling to speak to anyone about anything. Locally, he's been rumored to have hung about places in Michigan. They say that there's no real definitive proof that he owned property or anything, but yeah, obviously. He's not going to have a huge flashing neon sign to the authorities like, his name's not on the deed. As soon as he puts his name somewhere, the cops are going to be there.
Yeah.
Obviously. He's no dummy. Flynn Mansion in Sawyer allegedly was a hangout for Al Capone and mob boys to play cards. It was owned by John Flynn, a union guy from Chicago, and a treasurer for the Teamsters. I was nosy and Googled it, and it last sold for $685,000.
Wow.
6 bedrooms, 4 baths, 3,750 square feet. Also, where that bridge is I remember hearing about the ghost stories.
Is that the...
Yeah, you put your car in neutral on a full moon. Your car's supposed to go up the hill. And
Let's go tonight.
And there's a ghost. Oh, full moon. I'm down if you are. And there's a ghost of a maid running down the hill to help. During a raid. Do you remember hearing that story?
I haven't heard it in a very long time.
I mean, middle school is when I heard it. So it's been 84 years.
We should look it up and go tonight.
We should. That place is right by that gas station stop. We stopped there for gas. And
that truck stop?
Yeah. It's not that far from there.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Frankfort, Michigan is a house where the gang's pregnant girlfriends would come to secretly give birth to their out-of-wedlock babies.
Nice.
Allegedly. Capone made sure to have tunnels dug out that led to many businesses close by, there's a hotel. The owner, John Oberlin, was said to be a close friend of Capone. Apparently the tunnels are filled now.
They always are.
I mean, it's almost as north as Traverse City. It's pretty north, but I think it's on the water. This hotel. You can still stay at the hotel. I looked it up.
Are there any ghosts here that want to tell us about the tunnels that are filled in?
Were any babies born here? He was said to have spent time at the House of David. There is a big building that I think are now condos. It used to be a hotel, and it says he had rented out the entire 8th floor when he would visit.
Big bucks.
I think it's like the Vincent Place in Benton Harbor. I think I pointed it out.
You pointed it out, yeah.
We're nearing the end.
What?
Are you excited or so sad?
I don't know. Let's see what happens.
So his siblings. There's Richard James Hart. He was Al Capone's oldest sibling. He was only 3 years old when his parents decided to move to the USA. At 16, Richard decided to leave New York City and join a circus.
Love.
It all ties back in. During his teenage years, Richard also decided to change his name to Hart to honor his idol, Western silent film star William S. Hart. During World War I, Richard fought in Europe. Information about Richard's time in Europe is murky, as there are conflicting reports of his activities. Following the war, Richard returned to the USA and officially changed his name to Richard James Hart. He got married, had 4 sons. He started to work as a prohibition agent and moved to Homer, Nebraska. Could he be any more opposite?
Yeah.
I didn't want to talk about the siblings earlier because it's funnier now that his oldest sibling is a prohibition agent.
Oh, that's hilarious.
In 1926, he became a special agent of the Bureau of Indian Affairs and was assigned to the Cheyenne River Indian Reservation in South Dakota. Later in his career, he was relocated to the Spokane Indian Reservation in Washington. During this period, he managed to arrest at least 20 killers.
Killers of...
In Washington, he arrested 20 killers.
Okay.
Richard learned about his siblings' crimes after reading about them in the newspaper. Richard was nicknamed the Two-Gun Heart for his success as a prohibition agent.
It's so... Do we actually think he didn't know about...
If he's in Nebraska, maybe not.
Okay.
I doubt... Maybe they weren't close. Apparently. There were a ton of siblings.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Ralph Capone was another of Al's oldest brothers. He was born in Italy. In 1920, following the death of his father, Ralph moved to Chicago with his brother Al and his son. During Prohibition, Ralph was in charge of the Chicago outfit's bottling plants and attempted to monopolize non-alcoholic beverages and soft drinks. His business was so profitable that he became the second biggest soft drink vendor after Coca-Cola during the 1933 World's Fair.
Nice.
In April 1930, Ralph was listed on Frank J. Loesch's Chicago Crime Commission as a public enemy. In fact, as the manager of Chicago's Cotton Club, he was often involved in illegal gambling and prostitution. In 1932, he was arrested for tax evasion and served 3 years in prison. In 1935, Louis Altery, a notorious hitman for the Chicago North Side Gang, was forced to testify against him. A few weeks later, he was found dead due to a gunshot wound. After Ralph was released, he moved to Wisconsin. He lived to be 80 and died of natural causes.
Wisconsin, you say?
In 1950, the United Press published an article describing Ralph as, in his own right, one of the overlords of the National Syndicate, which controls gambling, vice, and other rackets.
I'm just saying, I've been to a bottling company supposedly owned by the Capones in Wisconsin.
No way.
Crazy.
Frank Capone, like Capone, was born and raised in Brooklyn. Also like Capone, he was part of the 5 Point Gang. Compared to his brother Al, Frank was considered mild-mannered. He often played the part of the respectable businessman and was always dressed in the most expensive suit. Frank was killed by Sergeant Philip J., who in 1924 shot him several times. The funeral was set for April 4th. Not surprisingly, it was an extravagant one with $20,000 worth of flowers.
That is a lot of flowers.
Frank's
especially
funeral
back then.
Yeah. Frank's funeral also featured 150 cars in the motorcade. Quite an impressive number for the time. He was 28. Next came, it was then Al Capone, and then next came Ermina Capone, who unfortunately passed away at 10 months, 7 days.
Oh, little baby.
Little baby. Then John Capone. Very little is known about him. He was born in 1903 and died in 1985 at 82 years old.
He lived a life.
Then there was another brother, Umberto Capone.
Ooh.
Umberto. And then Matthew Capone. Again, same thing. He's buried in Mount Carmel Cemetery where Capone is. Mafalda Capone was Al Capone's youngest sibling, born in 1912. Not much is known about her apart from the fact that in 1930 she married a man called John J. Meritote. He was a lieutenant in Al's army. The two tied the knot at St. Mary of something in Cicero, Illinois. It's like,
this name is hard.
Chestawauchawa? What is that?
I don't know. Chestahova.
Didn't get that, sorry.
Chestahova.
On April 26, 1932, Mafalda gave birth to a baby daughter. She is also buried in Mount Carmel, close to her brother Matthew. And dun dun dun, that is 24 pages of Al Capone.
Capone. Al Capone. How do you feel?
Relief. I've been sitting on this one for a while. I don't know if I was more excited to get this one down or House of David.
You were very excited to research this one. I just want to know what your next deep dive is going to be. Which one? Which are you going to get so hyper focused on?
Honestly, it's probably going to be Dillinger.
Nice.
Big Dillinger fan. Not like
that's
fan.
why it's like Public Enemy, you say.
Also, he's buried in Indianapolis.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So, road trip?
I went on a walking tour in Chicago, and wasn't he shot in Chicago?
He was in Chicago.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was shot. Was he? Is that where he was killed? Was he killed in Chicago?
I think he was killed in Chicago. Walked by that alley. Fun times.
Yeah.
Love a good walking tour. Nothing ever happens, but you get to hear lots of ghost stories about random places you may not know about.
The jail that he broke out of with that little fake wooden gun used to be a museum, and I think they have permanently closed it. Because that was
depressing.
Yeah, that was definitely on my list of places I wanted to go.
Let's just go on a trip. A spooky trip.
I need a trip.
Me too.
That wraps today's episode. Hit subscribe, comment, and follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Girls Just Want to Get Haunted. Or send us a story at girlsjustwanttogethaunted@gmail.com.
The episode may be over, but the haunting, that's just getting started.